Hello, this is Johnny Henson, Professor Poole with Billiard University out of Phoenix, Arizona. Today I'm going to show you a drill that I invented years ago. I was always running into students that were having trouble being table runners. And so I had a student that had never ran a rack in his lifetime. He was a really, really good ball pocketer. He made a lot of shots. I mean, he was actually a pretty decent banker too. And so we got to talking, and I said, "What do you mean you've never run a rack of pool?" He said, "I've never ran a rack of 8-ball in my lifetime." I said, "You know what, I'm gonna cure that in the next 30 minutes, okay?" So he said, "How are we gonna do that?" And I said, "Go ahead and break the balls." Well, I just broke the balls for us. And I said, "Now what I want you to do is realize that your only job is to run this rack. That's your only job. You're gonna run this rack. That's what you're gonna do." So I said, "Okay." So every time that you miss a shot, I want you to he had he had a couple of dimes, to be honest with you. And I said, you throw a dime down by where your cue ball is, you throw a dime down kind of where your object ball is, but not where your cue ball is going to roll over it after the fact, okay? And so basically, let's say you make the one, right? And let's say that you leave yourself, well, maybe that's not the best starting point, but let's just say I make the 10, I roll up, I leave my 12. You know, I got to get off to a good start here, okay? So let's say I make the 10, I leave myself the 12, and then after that, I leave myself, let's say, the 9, and I work my way around the table. Now what's going to happen eventually is, especially if you're not a true table runner, you're going to run into problems. You're going to run into where you didn't leave yourself, you overrode the cue ball, or maybe you didn't end up with the right angle on the object ball you're shooting, right? So any time that you mess up, you don't start over again. What you do is you set that shot up again, okay? So let's say you have a dime here and a dime there, and you're shooting the 1, well then you set this shot up again and you shoot it. Now, what happened is I taught this to a gentleman in a pool hall. He really wasn't even a full-time student at that time. And I said, I'm gonna make you a table runner in half an hour. He thought, oh, good luck, okay? And so anyway, what happened is I said, every time you miss a shot, you reset the shot up and you keep shooting it. Now, if you miss it 2 or 3 times, or if you make the ball but you don't leave your cue ball where you need to leave it to get out, then you have to basically rethink that shot. Maybe that's not the shot you should be shooting. Maybe you should change to another shot, okay? So I said, you work on this, and then and give us some time. I'll never forget this, because the gentleman I'm talking about was a big football player looking guy. I mean, kind of like an NFL lineman, you know? And I'll be honest with you, I was talking to some other players. In fact, I was there to teach, and so I was actually lining up some students for my seminar. And so I was over there talking to them. All of a sudden, we're talking, and I hear a big yell in the back of the pool hall. And this big old football player looking guy was running at me, and he was saying, "Whoa!" and he was just yelling and screaming, and I thought, oh my goodness, you know, what did I do? You know, I'll be honest with you, I thought he was gonna beat me up. And so what happened, he came over there, and I'll never forget, he grabbed me like that. "You're not gonna believe it, but I just ran my first rack." And I'm going, "Really?" Thank heaven. So anyway, that's probably the reason I really remember it, is because he was so excited that he ran his first rack. So what I want you to do, I want you to give, let's say you're a good ball pocketer, you know, you're a good banker, you know, you're a good player, you know, but you just really haven't put it all together, right? This drill is going to help you put it all together. I will promise you, if you're a good ball pocketer and you've never ran racks, this is going to teach you how to run racks. This is probably going to be one of the most valuable videos you'll ever watch if you want to be a table runner, okay? So basically, you're going to break the balls wide open. You're going to choose a group, okay? Let's say solids could be stripes. You know, let's say your cue ball is somewhere, okay? Well, then what I want you to do is put a dime down, but I don't want you to put your dime down where your cue ball will roll over it. So make the 1, roll over here, shoot the 7, maybe shoot the 4, you know, maybe shoot the 1 in the side pocket, whatever it is. Maybe your trouble ball is the 6, okay? So maybe what you're going to have to end up doing is maybe making the 7 and maybe rolling down here somewhere to make the 6 in that corner. Because when you run this, what you're going to be learning is you're going to be picking out those problem balls that stopped your runs before. And you're going to start working on leaving a good shot on those trouble balls early on. You're not going to save those for the last shot. So basically, what I want you to do, break randomly, right? Get you a dime or a piece of paper, put one by your object ball you're shooting, and put another one by your cue ball. Try not to move balls around because you're going to try to reset it up each time. And just practice running the rack. If you make a ball but you leave your cue ball in Egypt, well then you set the ball and the cue ball back up again and you shoot it again until you end up leaving it where you need to go. Then you go to the next ball and the next ball and the next ball. So I tell people, this is something I want you to remember. Let's say you first start this drill and you're not a table runner. So let's say you have to set up 3 shots over again or 4 shots over again. But you do end up running the rack. You end up actually making all the shots you had to make to run the rack, okay? Well then let's say after a while, let's say you're resetting up 3 shots. Then you're resetting up 2 shots. And then you're resetting up, let's say, 1 shot, right? Well, what happens when you don't reset up any shots? You're a table runner, right? I have taught more players how to become table runners using this method than any other method that I have ever used. And this is something I invented. No one taught me how to do this, but it just makes logical sense. If you want to be a table runner, why don't you practice being a table runner? Makes logical sense, right? So anyway, I want you to embrace this drill. I want you to give it a try. I want you to fall in love with it. And I want this to finally get you over the hump and make you a table runner. I want to thank you for your time, and good luck, and good shooting.